Hey, good morning. Chuck here with Apple Drains. Today we're installing a yard drain. Some people call it a French drain. And it's basically perforated pipe surrounded by gravel. So we're going ahead and getting a load of number 67 stone. This is the material used to surround your perforated pipe. Remember that a yard drain or a French drain, this picks up subsurface water. Gravel perforated pipe picks up the water that comes underground. It is not really designed to pick up water dropping directly into your system. That is done by catch basins. So you use a combination of both. Catch basins pick up immediate surface water runoff, and gravel perforated pipe picks up the subsurface water as it's left over in the ground to help dry out the area. So let's get to the job site and get started.
So you get your gravel filled up in your barrel. Once that's full, we'll bring it on back here. We're going to put a base of gravel down back here. We'll start back here in the back. A lot of tree roots from this river birch. They put this in here to, soak up the water, but it didn't really do much of a good job. So through this section right here, we're going to run a little base of gravel. Then we're going to put our perforated pipe with the holes pointing down, and we'll cover that with gravel. So just go ahead and pour your gravel in, then you can take your little trenching shovel or something and just spread it across the bottom. Just need to make little piles. That's good. So you can use a pick, trenching shovel, and you can see we just want to have a couple of inches of gravel on the bottom of our trench down here. And that's so that the water can perk up from the bottom through the gravel, enter the holes of the pipe, and be carried away. The gravel on the top just allows the water to get into the system. But again, there's no way that the water could drop into these holes. If you had them pointing upward, for the water to drop into one of these holes is pretty much dramatic. I don't think it would ever happen. It would bounce all around the gravel and end up at the bottom of the trench. Holes pointing down, water will flood up from the bottom and it'll enter those holes. So again, push your pipe down into the trench, but remember, point your holes down into the bottom. Then you can just step it in with your foot. It's a lot stronger than you think. You can push it right through roots. You just keep pushing it down. Holes point down. There's a green line on the top that'll tell you that you're on the top. And you can see that green line right here. That tells me that's the top of the pipe. Now we're ready to go ahead and fill up some more gravel, and we'll cover all this pipe up. We're just putting the yard drain, the French drain here. This is a low spot. So we want to pick up the water from the subsurface. As it drains through the ground, it'll go into our system and be carried away. Remember, we're trenching right out there to that pond. So just make little piles, and then you can spread it again with your pick or your trenching shovel, either one. Scoot it back a little bit. There you go. Looking good. Won't take a lot of gravel, but it'll take more than you think. I put it in the middle right there. Couple more barrels and this little section will be done. So we've installed some more yard drain gravel perforated pipe. Basically you can see we've got a catch basin that begins the line, gravel perforated pipe. Those holes are pointing down. We'll pour our gravel through this trench, and what's happening here is that as that water comes down the hill, it just floods. So we've got that cut up there for the channel drain. That's going to pick up a great deal of water as it comes off the hill. And over here we've got another catch basin. The water is going to come across the drive here, any leftover, and go right into that gravel, and it acts as a giant channel drain. So it goes right through the voids of the gravel down to the bottom of the trench, floods up into the holes of the pipe. Right here it changes to solid. This is solid pipe. And you can see we've got another catch basin. This is a low spot in the yard. If you can see, there's a mound over here. And of course we have our fabric we're going to put back here to cover up the gravel so that no dirt gets into it. About a foot wide cut. Just slice it and then just lay it on top of the gravel and we'll be able to cover that up. That way the water can perk from underneath. Remember, here it's the subsurface water that we're trying to grab and catch. So there's our fabric over the top, and basically now we're just going to put some stone on it and then we'll cover that up with the dirt and it'll be ready to go. Hey, this is Chuck with Apple Drains, reminding you that if you believe you can do something, I guarantee you can do it. Have a great day.